there's anything that keeps America perked up, it's coffee. Coffee in the morning to get us going, coffee in the afternoon where we can share a great story with good friends, and coffee in the evening to end a meal. Well, we're not going to talk about that necessarily today, but we're in Mechanicsburg, Ohio at an interesting coffee establishment, slightly different. And today we're going to be visiting with Paul and Grace Kurtz about their interesting approach to marketing coffee. So here we are inside Hemisphere Coffee Roasters, and as you can see by the surroundings, it's charming, it's delightful, and some have even called it eclectic. But Paul, on your pamphlet, you do talk about Hemisphere Coffee Roasters on a mission. Tell us what that mission is, please.
The mission of Hemisphere Coffee Roasters is to support and buy directly from coffee farmers the best coffee we can get directly from the farmer, cutting out multiple middlemen in the supply chain.
And where would that farmer be?
Well, currently we have a container that's 40,000 pounds of coffee coming from Nicaragua. The farmer is in the Matagalpa growing region. His name is Diego Chavarria, and I've had him here in my shop. He introduced himself to town people here in our roastery, and I'm excited about that. That's my mission. Help them help themselves, improve their lives by buying directly from that producer.
And how did they react to us when they were here in your coffee shop?
Well, that's what is amazing, because they finally saw the end of the line. They saw people drinking their coffee and enjoying the coffee. It's a labor of love. If you could go onto the coffee farms with me and see them pick the cherries, dry it, process it, and then they just give it to the beneficio or the co-ops. And that's the last they see it. And when they were here, they actually drank their coffee. They saw 35, 40 people drinking their coffee and loving it, and that's my passion.
So it's much more personalized. It's a more intimate approach to marketing rather than going to the store and picking off the name brand that we have no idea where it came from. And we here in America, we don't grow any coffee beans, do we? So we rely on them?
Well, in fact, we have Hawaii, but it's a long way for most of us here in America, but it is America. I call it relationship coffee, and it's a movement in the coffee roasting industry where we're buying directly from a grower that we have a relationship with. And I've slept in their home. I've ate around their table. They've been in my home. I trust him. He trusts me. I disclose all my prices. This is what I got in marketing. This is what I have in shipping and roasting and bagging and waste. And he shows me his costs. This is what I have in picking and harvest and cleaning the fields. And in most cases, they need $1.25 a pound in Latin America just to cover costs. And what they're getting right now on the commodities is 80 cents to 90 cents. And so I'm paying much higher than $1.25 for the best coffee that Diego can provide for me. And that's, so I'm paying more for quality. I'm paying more for shipping because I'm a little player bringing this one container in. But I think the end result will be something marvelous. I can tell the story of Diego Chavarria through his coffee.
You're paying more for caring.
That's right.
And isn't that a part of marketing, caring?
Yes, it is, because it is their life. There's over 15 million families involved in coffee around the world. It's a huge industry, coffee. It's the second largest commodity traded next to oil. There's a lot of coffee on the markets. That's driven prices down. And so these families are faced with problems. And I'm a small player. I'm bringing a container at a time in, but I'm helping one person, and maybe two, and then three.
Well, so how does someone get an interest in roasting coffee? Where does your roots begin at? Tell us how you got started.
Well, that's a good question, and there's a lot of trails to it. I'll try to keep it simple. I work for a mission agency, and I would get into Central America, South America, and Ecuador, Colombia, and also to Kenya, East Africa, and also Ethiopia. And we would sit with Christian leaders, and they'd be talking about their desire to do leadership training, to get theological education. They'd be asking our agency for money. And I began looking around and seeing good coffee. and wondering, is there a way that this could be exported and I could set up some sort of a business-to-business relationship with these growers, that they could support the things they care about, like church planting or missions, or just improving the life of their families.
So, Paul, I've already mentioned about the interior of your shop, but it really has quite a story, too. So why don't you give us a little background information on this building and what you've done to it?
Sure. It used to be the Napa store here on Main Street, Mechanicsburg, and it was just stripped out and was dirty, oily, and we needed a place to roast. It could have been in the country in a barn, but we started getting the idea about creating a place where friends, people would want to gather and have a nice, relaxing atmosphere. We could have live music in here. We do about 300 or 400 pounds of coffee a week that we ship out of here, and so it's an operating roastery. People can stop by when they see the smoke rolling. But some nights we have live music, and our family's musical. I love to sing. My wife sings, and our daughter Joelle has her own CD out and sings around in coffee shops. And so we have a platform here to do that as well.
You also have another coffee shop, is that right, nearby here?
Yes, in Plain City, the Pioneer Coffee Company. We're a part of that as well, and we provide all the espresso and coffee for that business.
And some entertainment tonight, maybe as well. I heard about that.
Yes, Joelle is playing there tonight, doing her original tunes.
But she's there probably very often, so if people are seeing this at different times, they might expect to see her at other times as well. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I do appreciate you having us in here today and hosting us to a lot more than I ever knew about coffee. And remember, whether it's in my family consumer science classroom or at home in my kitchen with family and friends, today I have learned that coffee is flavored with more than beans. It's flavored, too, with caring and sharing. And I've been glad to share this story with you.
Down the Road is brought to you in part by Prince Agra, makers of Omnigen AF, advancing animal nutrition for healthy animals, and Woodruff Enterprise of Springfield, Ohio,